Shalom, shalom, Israel. Bear with me. I gotta make sure the background is comfortable and y'all can hear me. Lord willing, we'll be going into. Lord willing, we'll be going into. So everything is kosher. And I'll be back. I'm gonna get everything situated in the back chat. And I'll be back with y'all in a few minutes. Get your cup of coffee, get your cup of tea. But if you're doing the lunar Sabbath like me, get your pens and papers out. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Shalom, shalom, family. I'm gonna just put this in the comment section. Just saying for all the other brothers and sisters that could be on, if you can, please like, comment, and share this live. Let's not be selfish with edification. The Lord willing, through the power of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai is edifying. So first and foremost, before we get started, we want to give all honor and all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakwadash. Yahweh being the Most High God, and Yahweh Shai is who the world and he calls Jesus the Christ. Rakah is the spirit, and Quadash is holy. So I'm going to give double honors to all the apostles and elders in Great Millstone who've been ruling well through the Spirit, bringing forth 100% of Most High doctrine to the best of their ability. And for the men underneath them that's teaching this word and believing this word to the best of their ability. And for the hopeful elect scattered four corners of the earth and four corners of America in different congregations and out congregations that's teaching this word and believing this word. Lord willing, the Most High have you to endure. Lord willing, one day, the Most High have us teaching one song, singing alike. And for the sisters that's believing in this word, Shalom, Lord willing, the Most High continue to have you being a virtuous and submissive wife. And for the rest of the brothers and sisters that might not be in the faith, Lord willing, the Most High have mercy on you and your household. So Lord willing, like I'm always saying, Lord willing, this lesson is straight to the point and edifying. Like I said, I just had to make sure the back channel was good. So I don't know if y'all could see the screen or what this video is actually going to go into. It deals with we are 144,000 are prophets, and they are relics, and the 1/3 believers. So we're basically going into 144,000, the men, and the 1/3, which every man and every woman that's Black, Latino, and Native should desire to be the hopeful elect. You should always pursue to be a believer of Yahweh Shema Shai to the best of your ability. So let's get into it. Let me widen my screen a little more for y'all to see. Of course, you see the definition of relic, but we're not going to hop into that just yet. Right? The first thing we're going to hop into is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 13 and 16, dealing with the 144 are prophets, with the 1/3 all being in one unit. So we're going to go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 13 and 16. It says, till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. So before Yahweh Shema Shai arrives, crack the sky, and do his due diligence for the Most High, we as men and women, let alone you men, if you are pursuing to be 144,000, because I don't know who the elect is, but the elect is here, and we're waiting for them to fully be sealed. And you want to give attendance to reading. I'm just saying, don't let the enemy see you take a break from reading. Like what I mean is, don't go a day without talking to the Lord, praying to the Lord, fasting for the Lord. But technically, the 144,000 is going to always attend to reading, to exhortation, which is encourage your brothers and sisters, to doctrine, right, which would be the true understanding of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says, neglect not the gifts that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on the hands of the presbytery. So like if I said it wrong, right? So don't neglect the gift that the Lord has given you. Just like the talents, you have to double those things while we're waiting on Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So if the Lord gave you the talent to prophesy, he gave you the talent to make exhortation, to encourage your brothers and sisters, to talk about different history events, right? Going to dark sayings, deep sayings, right? You want to always never neglect your gifts, right? And which was given thee by prophecy. It says, meditate upon these things, give thyself wildly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all, right? So all the things that you do in this ministry, that they are profiting may appear to all, right? Let alone, I don't have control of this video wherever it goes, to the left and towards the right. Just like me doing my due diligence and watching elders and brothers break down the scriptures, right? These videos are for edification, and you should want to be able to follow along. This is why, instead of me just letting the screen, just you seeing my face, I'm putting the scriptures on the screen so you could be driving, you could probably be busy with your kids, and you could see the scriptures right in your face, right? So you got to meditate on these few scriptures that we already bringing out, but meditate on the simple fact 144,000 has to be sealed, which they will be. You have to have it on your mind and meditate that they are relics, which later on in this video, I'm going to give you the true etymology of what relics is, right? And the 1/3 are the true believers on this earth outside of the 144, right? The last verse, it says, take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. So take heed to what's going on in these scriptures, right? Because when you take heed, it's going to be unto the doctrine from Genesis all the way to Revelations, from Genesis all the way to Maccabees, right? You have to get into these things and align, let alone from me and my understanding. The brothers that I labor with in 716, we all speak the same thing, so we're having the same song. Of course, we follow the apostles and the elders, regardless if you accept it or not. I'm not here to measure who got the biggest what. I'm here to edify the hopeful elect, whoever they may be. I'm not here to teach everybody, only the hopeful elect that is listening to the same song, book, chapter, verse. It says, continue in them, for in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee, right? And the ones that's going to hear is going to be the 1/3. Not everybody, not all men that's teaching the word is going to be deemed 144,000. Some of these brothers that is teaching, the Lord gave you the ability to teach, but you might be considered the 1/3, right? The Lord already has a predestined who the 144,000 is. So continue on your course, right? That both save. Let me say it again. For in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself, right? And then that goes into seek your own salvation with fear and trembling. The more you watching videos, right? That's part of doing the work. Sharing the video so the other sheep can watch a video that you watch, and don't be selfish. That's part of the work. Taking notes is part of the work, right? You want to always be seeing that yourself is being occupied in the ministry of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I have to get another verse, but of course I have to go to my handy dandy YouVersion Bible app. And I'm going to go to Sirach because everything we read in goes into Sirach, the 39th chapter. Oh, I over here put the 29th chapter. Salaki, y'all. So Sirach chapter 39, verse 1 and 2. This side is the GNT. This side is the KJV. So it reads, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies, let alone 144,000, which would be the men of the Lord, the 144,000, the relics. They would be occupied in prophecies. The prophecies is one of the major important parts about the scriptures because it predicts what's going to happen in the future, let alone the biggest prophecy is the mark of the beast. Verse 2, it says, he will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out all the secrets of grave sentences and be conversate in dark parables. So you're going to find these brothers in the prophecies, the parables, and the dark sayings. So this is why it's a good thing to watch videos. If you have a question, watch a video, even if it's during the video or after the video, write a question that you need help with. Hey, can you tell me this? Hey, can you show me scriptures on Jacob Trouble? Hey, what about Leviticus 24? What about this? Because closed mouth don't get fed. And when you see men teaching this word, instead of just walking or wandering the street like a chicken with your head cut off, you want to ask questions. And when you ask, you shall receive those answers, right? Because even the Lord says, ask him for wisdom and he give it to you freely. Sometimes you can be reading and it's a stumbling block in your mind. You can't get it. You can't function. But the Lord will put a spirit on you to actually build up confidence. And then eventually you start asking somebody that's actually doing lessons day in and day out. And then your question will actually get answered, right? That's what the men of the Lord is out here for, right? So to the other precept I wanted to bring out is Revelation, the 14th chapter. verse 1 to 3. And you see what it says at the top, the Lamb and 144,000 on Mount Zion. It says, I look and lo, a Lamb stood on Mount Zion, which would be a Mashiach Yahushai, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their forehead. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers, harping with their harps, Laki. And they sang as it were a new song. And the new song is the true ministry, right? The sincere milk, the first 5 books of the Bible, the knowledge, right? The parables, the dark sayings, and the prophecies, the understandings of the Most High's ministry. That is the new song. Before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. So I'm not here saying that I am 144,000, but the 144,000 is the only one that's singing that one true song. Let's read it again. No man can learn that song but the 144,000, right? You got to know some things is real deep in these things. Sometimes the 144,000 is not sharing all these secrets in all the songs of the Most High, right? Of course, they have to do their due diligence and feed the flock, feed the 1/3, because the 1/3 is going to grow off of following and listening to the videos of the men of the Lord. But the 144,000 is going to come with a song that only 144,000 know. Is because it's predestined that the Most High put it in their hearts to know, just like the apostles of old, right? And this is why every man and every woman should desire to be, the men should desire to be 144,000. And the 1/3 should desire to be learning by the hopeful elect, 144,000. Because this whole ministry is about believing. This whole ministry is about teaching. So you have to choose. You have to choose a side. Yes, it's life or death. Being a believer is life. And let alone some of them 1/3 is going to repent from their wicked ways. You might have a harlot. It might be a sister that could be doing a little OnlyFans. If she really repent in the heart and the eyes of the Lord, guess what? She can be converted and become one of these believers. Just like a man that's not probably doing his due diligence, but when, say, the mark comes, say Jacob trouble, say famine of the word, and he tired of how this world is ran, he might actually repent in that moment and actually come back through all the dirt that he has done. But I want you to know the hopeful elect, the relics, 144,000, they're singing a song which is alike. And the 144,000 will be brothers. Right? So let's go to St. John. And I know a lot of y'all know about St. John, the 17th chapter, but we're going to probably dig into it just a little bit to dissect it and bring some closure. So we're going to read St. John, the 7th chapter, verse 5 to 10. Then we're going to drop down. So verse 5, it says, and now, O Father, glorify thou me with thy own self. Hold on, So this is Yahushai speaking. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thy own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. And I was manifested, and I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me unto this world. So the real 144,000 is calling on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because St. John 6:44, the Lord has to draw you to his son. And when the real 144,000 through the Spirit is drawn to Yahushai, they're going to be calling on the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? It says, I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. Which go into St. John, the 15th chapter, where it says, if you abide in me, I abide in you. The 144,000 is constantly occupying themselves because through the Spirit, they abide in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's why their number one duty is the ministry, right? And it says, now, wait, Salaki, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word, which is book, chapter, verse. That's why when people have a problem, they always run to the word. They always ready to give every man an answer. When scriptures say when a man asks a question, give him an answer. Verse 7, Salaki. Verse 7, now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. For I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me. So what words was that? The good news. Speaking of the coming of Hamashiach Yahushai and the destruction of this place, let alone understanding these prophecies that might be tangled in other ministries, right? 144,000 is not in a confusion state. The 144,000 is growing and they all are singing the same song, which we already seen in what we read in Revelations. They're singing a new song, and they're singing a song that only they know. And it just showed us right here and here. It just showed us right here and here. It says, for I have given unto them the words which thou givest me, and they have received them, and have known surely that I came, Salaki, that I came out from thee, and they have believed that thou didst send me. And I pray for them. I pray not for the world. Let alone you would use this for St. John 3:16, where it says, I love the world. But when you really look in this verse, I pray for them. I pray not for the world. Yahushai is praying for the 144,000. The 144,000 have to get sealed. They're going to get sealed before the 1/3. Yahushai is praying for the 144,000, let alone through the 144,000 teaching and doing the works of the Lord and giving out this message. Yahushai is even praying for the 1/3, whoever you may be. Lord willing, we are a part of that number. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. And the ones that's in the world is the 2/3. Yahushai is not praying for the 2/3. He's praying for the hopeful elect, the prophets, the relics, and he's praying for the believers. Verse 10, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. So all of Yahweh Shema Shai is the 144,000 and the 1/3, and we are Yahushai's. St. John 15, if we abide in him, he's going to abide in us. That's why if we believe in him, premature, he gave us the gift, what is the ministry, because he believed in us. And guess what? I am glorified in them. So the Lord, that's why a lot of us shine in a certain way. That's why the Lord is allowing people to have itchy ears just to hear you bring out the word. And it's all by the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Now we're going to drop down to verse 17, and we're going to read to verse 20. It says, sanctify them through thy truth. So approve them through the truth. Thy word is truth. So the hopeful elect is going to be sanctified through the truth. And guess what? The word is truth. So they're going to be sanctified with the word, book, chapter, verse all day. They're going to live by it. They're going to breathe by it. And they're always going to always try to pursue the spirit of the apostles. The apostles was always teaching the good news. And they were occupied just like the prophets. Because Ephesians 2:20, it is built upon the apostles and the prophets. It's based on the apostles. The apostles walked with Hamashiach Yahushai, and they had a different rank than the regular prophets, but it's still of the same body. Verse 18, as thou hast sent me into the world, even so have I also sent them into the world. So it's predestined that the hopeful elect was sent down here, just like Hamashiach Yahushai. We don't know who he is, but by the power of the Most High, Yahweh Shai knew who he was because the Lord ordained him in that position. So he's the high prophet. He's in a high position, right? But the Lord appointed the hopeful elect, and guess what? Like some people always say, a dog would eventually come home. The hopeful elect is going to always come back to the bosom of Yahweh Shem Shai, regardless if it takes a long time, because serving the Lord is long suffering. Verse 19, and for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth. And what is the truth? We already understand that, of course, it would be the law, the sincere milk, and the knowledge, the parables, the dark sayings, and the prophecies. This whole ministry is the truth, because Yahweh Shai says in St. John, the 14th chapter, verse 6, right? He is the way, he is the truth, and he is the life. So the truth is based on Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Verse 20, neither pray I for these alone, which is the 144,000. That's why when you read verse 9, it's really pointing to the prophets of the 144,000 Yahweh Shai is praying for. But when you read in verse 20, it shows to clarity that Yahweh Shai neither pray I for these alone. So Yahweh Shai didn't only pray for the 144,000, but for them also which shall believe on me through this word. And how they going to believe through the word? It's not that the 1/3 is going to be reading and flipping through pages like the 144,000. Some of them ain't going to have time. Some of them is going to have excuses. Some of them is going to still be dabbling or, slipping up like a speed bump, but they still have belief. And that is going to be the 1/3. True believers, right? The 144,000 and the 1/3 is the true believers on the earth. So Yahweh Shai is praying for the whole team, right? And I'm going to just get a precept on the side. This is just, James. I'm going to just put it in there. I don't want to slide it in there, but you might as well put it in there because it was talking about praying. So James chapter 5, verse 16. It says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And you have to know, Yahweh Shai is praying, which we just seen. Yahweh Shai is praying for the 144,000, and he's praying for the 1/3 believers. So in the same, if we want to say we're Christian and we walk like Christ, we should be praying for the hopeful elect, which I always try to say in some videos, pray for me and I'm going to pray for you. Right? And if you pray for me, I'm going to pray for you. Continue. If I pray for me, I'm going to pray for you. And if I pray for you, you should pray for me and pray for yourself. And don't only pray for yourself, pray for the hopeful elect. Pray that the 144,000 prophets, the relics, get sealed in this thing. Pray that the believers of the 1/3 come back into this thing. So you want to pray a fervent, effectual prayer, just like Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, which we just read. And I'll read it again. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. So I'm not going to only just sit here and say I'm praying only for my household, because my women and my kids are not the men that I can be thinking there are 144,000. I'm praying for the 144,000 before I even pray for my women, because we need the men of the Lord. We need the 144,000 to pave the way, right? Let alone I am praying for the believers, which is the 1/3, the remnant of the men and the women and children, right? Pray. Now I'm going to drop down to verse 21, and we're basically just going to read to verse 22. It says that they all may be one, right? You see, if Yahweh Shai is praying for the 144,000 and he's not praying only for them, he's praying for the 1/3 believers, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, are in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. Guess what? Even though 144,000 has that one new song and they're going to only know this other song, right, as a unit, they're going to still be out here teaching, thus saith the Lord, in the 1/3 through the teaching of that 144,000, whoever you may be. Lord willing, we are part of that number, talking to the men that I will believe that is actually doing their due diligence, right? The 1/3 through the Spirit, the Lord got a spirit on them to watch these men teach the word correctly in dividing the word of truth, right? And then sometimes the Lord might sift you and have you go to brothers like the apostles and the elders that might be teaching raw and straight direct, right? The 144,000 is teaching the whole truth. And they're not out here trying to teach something to make you feel good. They're trying to teach everything from hidden message to plain upon tables, right? Verse 22, in the glory which thou givest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. And this is why it's a light upon 144,000 on the earth right now, let alone the remnant of these 1/3. It's a lot of them that have a glow. It's a lot of them that have a thrive for the Most High because they thrive off of believing in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So their light is going to shine just like the 10 virgins. You have 5 wise, and 5 foolish. We can look at the foolish as being the 2/3, but the wise one would be the elect, the 144,000. Let alone the believers will constantly have their lamp lit, right? Because if they're always watching videos, always asking questions and doing their due diligence, taking notes. Sometimes they're reading, sometimes they're praying, they're fasting. Guess what? The Lord is going to always have us as one. If you're fasting, guess what? The 144,000, in their case, they're fasting. If you're reading, 144,000 is reading. If you're seeking knowledge, the Lord will provide and send you to the hopeful elect, right? A lot of people want to be too prideful and be like, oh, I don't want to learn from a man. You damn freaking right you don't want to learn from a man. You want to learn from a man that the Most High is using. And every man shall always go to a man that's going to guide them in scriptures, which the hopeful elect is trying. They're trying, right? And I'm going to show this in the book of Acts. This is a side precept, right? The hopeful elect is guiding people throughout the whole Bible, not just trying to make you feel good. And they're dealing with all aspects. But what we read in Sirach, they mostly are occupied in prophecies, dark sayings, and parables, but they meditate in the law too, right? This is Acts, the 8th chapter, verse 25. And when they had testified and preached the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, returned to Jerusalem and preached the gospel in many villages of the Samaritans. And the angel of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai spake unto Philip, saying, Arise, and go towards the south unto the way that goeth down from Jerusalem unto Gaza, which is desert. And he arose and went and beheld a man of Ethiopia, a eunuch, of great authority under Candace, queen of the Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasure, and had come to Jerusalem for to worship, was returning and sitting in his chariot, and read Isaiah the prophet. Then the Spirit said unto Philip. So you got to know, if we was to look at it in another way, let's just say symbolically. I'm not saying this is him, but we're saying symbolically. Say the eunuch, he would be like the 1/3 because he's seeking out knowledge. And then you see on verse 29, because Philip would be an apostle, it says, Then the Spirit said unto Philip, Go near and join thyself to this chariot. And Philip ran thither to him. So the Spirit is always guiding the hopeful elect, the apostles, the prophets that could be sealed as 144,000 to go do the work of the Lord. Go do this lesson because there's somebody out here that's dealing with this. There's somebody that need this. And that's why scriptures say man's going is of the Lord. No man knows what he's doing. You don't know, right? So this is the rest of it. So Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, Understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, How can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. The place of the scripture which he read was this: He was led as a sheep to the slaughter, and like a lamb dumb before his shearer, so open he not his mouth. Which you will go to the book of Isaiah, the 53rd chapter. And you can understand the Spirit led him to give the understanding of the scriptures. 144,000, they know this song. If you can hear my background, don't you hear this song in the background? It is an instrumental, but I'm bringing out scriptures to the beat, and that's a song. And the hopeful elect is singing a song that goes with the tune. The hopeful elect is singing the same song where the tune is aligning together and nobody is off beat. Nobody is not teaching another shabba dabba ding dong. The hopeful elect are in one. The hopeful elect is in unity. So now, and my brother he brought out the precept, but I actually want part of the whole conclusion of this. And we're going to go to Revelations, the 7th chapter, and we're going to read from verse 1 to 10, and then we're going to drop down to verse 14. The water, Yawasat, the water. So, Revelations chapter 7, verse 1, and it reads, And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, and holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And when it's talking about wind, it's talking about those thermonuclear, the destruction that's going to happen to this place. So the angels is holding back the destruction. It says, And I saw another angel descending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, right? Saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their forehead. So let's see who's the first of his servants that need to be sealed. And when you see servants, that means prophets. So verse 4, it says, And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And of course, our brothers would know, but we're going to actually just go to it. Verse 5, Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. And those are all men, because I already answered and said the servants is the prophets. When you read verse 9, it says, After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number. That great multitude is the believers, the 1/3. The 1/3 believers is that great multitude. And it says, which no man could number, of all nations, because the Lord has scattered us 4 corners of the earth. We're here, we're there, we're in Europe, we're in Africa, we're in Turkey, we're in Russia, we're in Paris, we're in London, we're in Sweden, we're in Switzerland, we're in America, we're in every place under the sun, in kindreds, people, tongues, and before the throne, before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Now that palms in their hands, it signifies victory. This is that victory we're waiting for. Just like Nipsey Hussle say, the victory lap, we're going to have the real victory lap. Lord willing, we're a part of that hopeful elect. That 144,000, or we're part of the elect of the great multitude. Verse 10, and cry with a loud voice, saying, Salvation is of Salvation is of our power, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb, which is Hamashiach Yahushai. And to be technical, it would be Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Dropping down to verse 14, it says, And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, These are they which came out of a great tribulation, which we're going to be taken so swiftly when Jacob trouble hit. Things is going to hit so smooth when we're fully in Jacob trouble. We're going to be taken out of it. Because then boom, click, clock, thickety, dick, dip, sippity, sip, tomb. When you go to Revelations, the 18th chapter, that goes into World War III, right? And it says, have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Even when you go to Daniel, the 12th chapter, verse 10. And I'll just go to it real quick, and I'll go back to verse 15, right? Please just bear with me. I'm going to try to, make sure this just goes straight to the point. So Daniel 12 and 10, it says, Many shall be purified, and that many is the few, which is 144,000, and then the 1/3 believers, and made white and tried. And 144,000 is getting tried. Later on, we're going to get tried even more, but we're getting tried now. 1/3 is getting tried through the Spirit, and they might not know it, but you're always getting tested. It says, But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. That's why a lot of our brothers and sisters might not know what's going on. And this is why we have to tap in to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Brothers are afraid to turn on the video because they think they learn it from a man. Everybody feel like they're spiritual, but while you being spiritual, you need to have faith. Watch a man's fruit. And you could tell by a man's fruit of how he delivers the message, how he deals with precepts, how he answers questions, and if he corrects himself, and if he's always abounding in the scriptures, right? It's not all about the followers he have, because you can see a brother that has 1,000 followers and he can be doomed for destruction. You want to look at a man through the Spirit. That's why the Most High told Samuel, don't look at none of Jesse's sons. Don't look at their outer stature, because the Most High pays attention to the heart of a man. That's why Jeremiah 17 and 10, he says he searched the heart and he tries the brain, and he gives every man according to his ways. So I'm going to read verse 16. Let me read verse 15. Therefore are they before the throne of the Most High, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. And they shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. Our kingdom is going to be glorious because it's going to be made of pure gold, and we're going to be illuminated. It says, For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and they shall lead them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of water. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. You shall always want to meditate on things above, like it's saying in Colossians. Set your affections on things above. And let's get it. Lord willing, through the Spirit, I'm at the right chapter. Colossians chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 1. If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. Set your affections on things above and not things on the earth. You should have your desire on your tears being wiped away. You should have a desire of the 144,000 being sealed, and the 1/3, the great multitude, believers being sealed. You should be thinking about that more than thinking about a bag. Like last night, a sister said she think about her work. She think about her work, her kids, and then God. So she putting God last. But these scriptures says, set your affections on things above. The Lord should be your first priority, not your last. And the more that you set your affections on things above, the more the Lord will help you out in your surrounding household and in your congregation. We shouldn't move in emotion and feelings, let alone if you desire to be 144,000. You should desire the comforter to give you the understanding of all things. And most of the time, the Spirit will guide you to a man that is moving in the Spirit that will guide you correctly. Just like Philip. Was Philip an ordinary man? No, the Lord was dealing with him because you seen the Spirit had spoke to him and told him to go up upon that chariot. And it's the same with myself, right? So now we're going to go into the part of the other half of this lesson that deals with the 144,000 men are relics. And you might ask what a relic is. And of course, this stems from IUIC trying to say that the elders and great millstones are relics. This is actually what you said. I could go to the YouTube video, which I'll show you the YouTube video, but I won't click it. Maybe I might have to click it just so y'all can see what video. You know what? I'll click it.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yah.
So this is the video where IUIC said that the apostles and the elders and great millstones are relics. And I'm not here to put shade on anybody. I'm really talking about the word relic.
And this live, not relics, you know,
hold on, let me fast forward the video.
On what the word relic means in the chat. Relics.
Okay, there you go.
Goes out, Lord one is edifying, straight to the point. Let's play. You can't make this guy up, bro. You guys are relics.
So the person that's making the video is Apostle or Rimlab. The elder apostle or Rimlab from Great Millstone. He's doing his own lesson. And IUIC is at the top corner. And they said these guys are relics. I'm going to play it one more time. This is not shade. I am just trying to bring the point of what brought me to bringing this word into tuition.
The one is edifying, straight to the point. Let's play. You can't make this guy up, bro. You guys are relics.
So he said that the apostles and the elders and the men in Great Millstone are relics. Okay, that's fine. Like I said, this video is not about shade. This is really about that we are the 144,000 are prophets and they are relics, and the 1/3 believers. And we're going to read the definition of relics. C1200 relic, a body part or other object held in reverence, which means respect or affection due to its connection with a holy person. And this would be Mashiach Yahushai. In total, it would be Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right? When you look from the Latin, relic, parallel, relici. I'm not good with Latin, so forgive me. But it goes into the remains of a martyr. And we already know, even in Revelations 20:4, some people will be martyred. They will be beheaded. They would die for the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The men that don't want to deny the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai or his ministry. The men of the Lord that might, a few that will be taken and be an example for the ministry. the remains of martyr. In classical Latin, remains, remit, noun used in the feminine plural of reliquil, salaki, remaining, that which remains, right? So a relic is somebody that held in reverence, respect, or affection due to his connection with a holy person, which would be Hamashiach Yahushai. General sense of remains, remit, that which is left after the loss or ruin of the rest. So you have to think, what is the ruin? The 2/3. Zechariah, the 13th chapter. And who remains? The 1/3 that's going to be taken out of this dumb whore. And then, of course, you have the 144,000, which will remain. Is attested from early 14, right? I want it all to line up, but the main point was at the top. Yeah, you see it's going to something else, right? But you see relic is going into right where we see right here. The body part or other objects held in reverence, respect, or affection due to its connection with a holy person, which would be symbolic to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Hey, some people might not get it. It might go over your head. But I'm not here to force it. I'm only here to just teach the word. So Lord willing. So this is Isaiah. Wait, hold on. It didn't go. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 9. Because we were just dealing with relic. And I'm going to jump back a few times. It says, except Yahweh Shema Shai of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like Gomorrah, right? And what happened to Gomorrah? Everybody got destroyed, right? Except the people that went in. But all Israel would have been like Sodom and Gomorrah if the Lord did not leave a remnant. Off of what we just read, where it says, the general sense of remains, remit, that which is left after the loss or ruin of the rest. So if we want to say which was left after the loss, we would look at Lot's family as the remnant that was left while the whole place got destroyed. So Lot's family is symbolic to the 144,000. I would say Lot as a man is symbolic to 144,000. And then the rest of his family, his kids, and his daughters, those would be the 1/3 believers, right? The which is left after the loss or the ruin of the rest, right? Reading it again. Except Yahweh Shem Yahushai of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. So, of course, this is why we want to always thank Yahweh Shem Yahushai that he still left a remnant when Yahweh Shem Yahushai could have took out the whole nation of Israel, just like he did Sodom and Gomorrah. When you go to Isaiah, the 11th chapter, verse 11, it says the restored remnant. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh Shem Yahushai shall set his hand against the second set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Patros, and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinir and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. So this even shows you we were scattered 4 corners of the earth. And technically, this is not all the places, but we were scattered everywhere you would see on the map. In the remnant, just like what we just read in Isaiah 1 and 9. We have to thank the Lord that the Lord says Another object held reverence or affection due to its connection with the holy person. So through the Spirit, 144,000, just because the Lord put a spirit on them to teach and always seek the ministry and feed the flock, like the Lord told Peter in St. John, the 21st chapter, you have to know the 1/3 was always following behind the 144,000, and they didn't know through the Spirit. And they were always being fed because guess what? The general sense of remnant, that which is left after the loss or remain of the rest. So we have to always constantly continue. Want to thank the Lord. So again, let's go back to James chapter 1, verse 1. And it reads, testing your faith. James, a servant of the Most High and of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai Hamashiach to the 12 tribes. And you see James, a servant. So now this is just answered what we read in Revelations, the 7th chapter, to let you know, because some sisters say the 144,000 is women too. No, James is a man. And sometimes when it says servants, it's talking about the prophets. James was a prophet. He was an apostle, a servant of the Most High and of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Hamashiach to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting. So this shows you Israel is scattered abroad. And today in 2023, we are still scattered abroad. Just like you look at Baruch 3 and 8. We are in our captivity till this day, let alone Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. In the land of our captivities, we shall know who we are. And it's all because the Lord put a spirit on the apostles to search these scriptures. You know, the 144,000, whoever you may be, right? And Lord willing, we are of those numbers, the 144,000 or the 1/3 that's teaching his word and believing in his word. So now we're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 42, verse 2. And it reads, it said unto Jeremiah the prophet, let we beseech thee, our supplication be accepted before thee, and pray for us unto Yahweh Shema Shai thy power, even for all his remnant. For we are left but a few of many, as thy eyes behold us. The 144,000 is a few, let alone the great multitude. 2/3 is a lot of our brothers and sisters. So he says, pray for us unto Yahweh Shema Shai thy power, which would be the 144,000, even for all this remnant. All together would be the 144,000 prophets, right? The elect, the relics, and for the 1/3 believers. But technically, this is for the 144,000, because later on, it was already predestined that the hopeful elect in each situation, each captivity, we were always around because it was predestined. So now let's just get these last few precepts. And like I said, through the Spirit, Lord willing, this was edifying. And for all the other brothers and sisters that could be coming on this live, Shalom, Shalom, Yahweh Shema Shai Barakatham. This is Ephesians chapter 1, verse 1 to 5. Paul, an apostle of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach by the will of the Most High, to the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Grace be unto you. We already know the saints is the elect. And peace from the Most High, our power, and from Yahweh Shema Shai Hamashiach. Blessed be the Most High. Blessed be the God and the Father, which is Yahweh, and our Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, who have blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Hamashiach, right? And it says, according as he have chosen us in him, which the Lord has chosen, the 144,000 in Yahushai, because the 144,000 abide in Yahushai, all the way in the foundation, the beginning of the foundation of the earth. This story is predestined, according as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. So the Lord chose us before the foundation of the world. All praises to Yahweh Shemal Shai. He loved us that much. He thought about us and already made us predestined in this. Right now we in the end time. Thank you, Yahweh Shemal Shai. It's like running a race and you finally at the finish line. Right? Lord willing, we of that number and we accomplish and finish our course. Read it again. According as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy, which is set apart in Hebrew, which is Kodash, and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us into the adoption of children by Yahushua HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So it was predestined that the hopeful elect was going to be in the fold of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's why when you go to Romans chapter 9 and 4, who gets the adoption is the hopeful elect and none else. Right? So now, just as a sidebar, I'm just going to go to John real quick. I mean, we already went to it, right? But we're just going to do it again. We're going to do it again. John chapter 17, and we're going to go to verse 16. And I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou givest me out of the world. So it was predestined that eventually we was going to come into the true name of Yahweh Shem Shai. And thy they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word, which is from Genesis to Revelation, Old Testament, Genesis to the Maccabees, but just saying the whole Genesis to Revelation. And thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. Now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. For I have given unto them the words which thou givest me, and they have received them. Everything Yahweh came here and spoke, it was all given by Yahweh. And have known surely that I came out from thee, and that they have believed that thou didst send me. And I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou givest me, for they are thine. So this verse is technically going towards the 144,000, right? And then when you go all the way down, where is that? When it comes to citing sources, details matter. When you go to verse 20, it says, neither pray I for these alone. Neither I pray for these alone, which is the 144,000, which we read in verse 9, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, which is the hopeful elect, the 1/3 believers. So you got to choose. You want life or death. Even if you're pursuing 144,000, or you at least make it into 1/3, guess what? That is still the body, but it's different parts. Just like the 12 apostles is part of the 144,000, but they're going to be in a hierarchy. They're going to be under Mashiach Yahushua. Then is going to be the 144,000. Then is going to be the men of the 1/3. So let's go to this other precept. This is Romans, the 12th chapter, verse 5. And it reads, so we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members one of another. Reading it again. So we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members one of another. So the whole hopeful elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3, is a body in Hamashiach Yahushai. And all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Let's look at this word relic again, and then we'll close out. A body part or other objects held in reverence or affection due to its connection with the holy person, which would be Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Going down, the remains of a martyr. When you go to Revelation, the 20th chapter, verse 4, even if you look at what the apostles and prophets, a lot of them died for the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. Remain, remit. When you go down to the third paragraph, the general sense of remains, remit, that which is left after the loss or ruin of the rest. And who would be the ruin? The 2/3 that we will read. So let's just read this verse of the 1/3, because we already brought into tuition the 144,000. So verse 8 and 9, it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, which is the whore in Revelation the 17th chapter, this is one place, no S, saith Yahweh Shem Shai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. Those are the ones that will be lost. And who shall remain? But the 1/3 shall be left therein. The 1/3 is the 1/3 that remain. And I will bring the third part. Salaki, I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. And they shall call on my name, which is Yahweh Shem Shai, and I will hear them, and they will say, Salaki, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh Shem Shai is our power. Lord willing, this was edifying to whoever you may be. Lord willing, we are of that number. As a man, you should always want to pursue to be the hopeful elect, the 144,000. And do your due diligence and believe in the Most High. Because you can be 144,000, but you could be a strong believer in the Most High, and you might be a 1/3. Just because I'm teaching, I might not even be a 144,000. I might be a 1/3. But the Lord can look at my heart. I might not even be 144,000. I might not even be a 1/3. I might be a 2/3. And the Lord might just be using me to edify the hopeful elect. But the 144,000 is singing the same song. And they're teaching constantly the same song. The same song. And the 1/3 is feeding off of that. Some of the 1/3 is probably not listening to it continuously. Just like Zukiana. She can be through the spirit of 1/3. Because she even saying about us, but she's not fully in this truth. When all hell break loose, she could just really confess and call on the name of the Lord and believe. And she could be a 1/3, a believer. I am not better than you, and you damn sure not better than me. But the Most High that we supposed to serve is better than you and me. If I can do it, you can do it. If you can do it, I damn sure can do it. Death to America, death to Esau, not on my time, not on their time, but his time, because he never early, never late. He is always on time. This is not trick or treat. Treat yourself to the ministry of Yahweh Shem Shai, but don't trick yourself away from the ministry of Yahweh Shem Shai. Get it right, get it tight, get your mind right, and get the precepts tight. Won't he do it? Won't he will? Yes, he will. Till next time, it's your brother Adar Gabar with the brothers from 716. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God. The Yahushai is to the world, Igni calls Jesus the Christ. Till next time, Shalom, Kwam Yashrela.